Chosen one, this is about your daughter. Everything changes tomorrow. This is not just another message. This is the moment your heart has been unknowingly waiting for. This is not coincidence. It is divine alignment, purposeful and precise. There is something sacred surrounding your daughter right now. Something heavenly ordained that is preparing to erupt into your life like thunder cracking through silence. This is not only about what will happen tomorrow, but also about who she is becoming and why she is key to everything that must unfold. Everything changes tomorrow not by accident, but because the heavens have declared it's her time, because she is connected to you. Through spirit, through purpose, and through your faithful obedience, your life is also about to change. Get ready. This is not about fear. It's about faith. This is not about uncertainty. It's about revelation. And it's not about losing something. It's about the birth of something too big to contain. You will soon see that this has always been written. Stay with this message till the very end. Something incredible is already being activated in the unseen realm. As you receive, let your heart respond and share your warmest, most heartfelt wishes in the comments along with the number 77. This is a moment of manifestation. And when you declare your wish boldly and lovingly, you energize the universe to respond in kind. Let this be the beginning of a beautiful wave of answered prayers. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel and let's begin. Chosen one, your daughter was not born at a random time in a random place or to a random parent. She was not a product of circumstance but a divine expression of an eternal plan. She was chosen through you. And for this generation, she carries something pure, something fierce, something sacred. You felt it. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe you've seen glimpses in the way she speaks, the way she loves, the way she endures. Maybe she has been misunderstood by others, labeled as different, too much, or too sensitive. But what others didn't realize was that her spirit is wired to the frequencies of heaven. She senses what's about to happen before it becomes visible. She has been divinely marked. Everything changes tomorrow because there is a spiritual turning point approaching her life that will also ripple into yours. There's a recalibration happening in her soul. Something being downloaded from above that will awaken a deeper sense of direction, identity, and purpose. But here's the key. You are part of that change. You are not just a witness to her breakthrough. You are a divine bridge. Your prayers, your tears, your unspoken sacrifices, all of them are seeds that are now blooming in her destiny. What's happening tomorrow is a shift that your soul has waited years for, even if your mind didn't understand the delay. You've likely had moments of worry, even heartbreak about your daughter. Times when you questioned if she was okay. Times when you felt helpless, like you were watching her fight battles you couldn't reach into. Times when the world seemed to try and dim her light, confuse her voice, distort her truth, and you prayed, maybe in silence, maybe in sobs, maybe in raw desperation. But let this be clear, not a single prayer was wasted. Not one cry went unheard. Every word you whispered into the heavens concerning her has been caught, kept, and is now being fulfilled. That is why the timing of this shift is so important. It had to happen when her soul was ready and when your faith was strong enough to carry the new. She's about to walk through a door that doesn't exist for everyone. It's a divine invitation, an unmissable opportunity to become who she was destined to be. And that's why everything in your life is about to shift as well. Because when her purpose is activated, your legacy becomes unshakable. There's a generational impact here, something far beyond just one moment. This is about lineage, healing, and spiritual alignment. And it starts with this final layer of obedience. Your willingness to trust what you cannot yet see. There will be signs. You'll notice her speak differently. You'll notice her think more clearly. There may even be a boldness in her you've never seen before. Don't be alarmed. That boldness is not rebellion. It's revelation. She is remembering who she is. The veil is lifting. She's being reminded of what was placed inside her before she ever took her first breath. And in that remembrance, everything changes. Her healing accelerates. Her mind stabilizes. Her dreams awaken. Her inner authority begins to rise. And you, chosen one, will see the beauty of everything you silently hoped for. Tomorrow may feel like an ordinary day to the world, but to the spirit realm, it is a holy shift. Don't treat it lightly. Speak blessings over her. Blessings over. Even if she doesn't know you're doing it, even if she's far away, even if she hasn't spoken to you in weeks or months or years, the bond between you is eternal. And your authority in her life doesn't fade with time or space. Speak with certainty. Declare with love. See her the way heaven sees her. Your voice has power. Your faith has weight. And right now, your agreement with God's plan is creating waves of movement in her life. Some of the warfare you've endured recently wasn't even about you. It was about her. The attacks, the confusion, the exhaustion. It was the enemy trying to disrupt the lineage through which her purpose flows. But guess what? You stood firm. You kept believing. And now heaven is rewarding your endurance by restoring and lifting your daughter in ways that will silence every enemy, every doubter, every critic that ever questioned her divine assignment. It will be undeniable. It will be beautiful, and it will be soon. Don't be surprised if tonight before tomorrow comes you feel emotional. That's not weakness. That's your spirit recognizing what's on the horizon. It's okay to feel the weight of it. It's okay to cry. There is glory in the breaking. There is power in the vulnerability, and there is reward in the alignment. You're not just a parent. You are a spiritual protector, a generational gatekeeper, and you are walking her into her next season with more authority than you've ever had before. Not because of your title, but because of your heart. God chose you for her for a reason. You were the safest vessel for her to enter the world through. And now she's about to prove to the world why. There is more to say, and in the next part we will go even deeper into how this shift will reveal the greater mission she's tied to, and how your life will not only be blessed, but transformed through what unfolds. Get ready. The alignment is happening now. Your obedience brought this into motion. Everything changes tomorrow, and it begins with her. The atmosphere is charged with divine anticipation. You may not see it yet, but the realm of the Spirit is already celebrating. Chosen one, there is movement in the air. Sacred, weighty movement. And at the center of it is your daughter. This is not a metaphor. And this is not exaggerated language. This is real. The world might overlook her. People might misunderstand her. But heaven has never looked away. Tomorrow marks a shift because something ancient and powerful is being restored through her. Something that has been passed down, protected, and now finally permitted to blossom. She is not just your child. She is a carrier of a greater promise. And while life may have tried to bury that promise beneath pain, confusion, or fear, it is breaking through. Not because she's perfect, but because she's chosen. Not because she's loud, but because her spirit was designed to resonate at a frequency that wakes up what others have forgotten in themselves. That's why the enemy worked so hard to silence her, confuse her, and make her feel unworthy. He saw the glow in her spirit before she even did. But what he didn't calculate for was your covering, your protection, your spiritual alignment. You, chosen one, held the line when it mattered most. And now heaven is about to honor that. You may look at her and see scars, wounds from a tough childhood, seasons of rejection, battles she never deserved. But don't be fooled. Those scars are sacred. They are evidence of her survival, proof of her resilience, and now those very scars are becoming symbols of her strength. She will not live her life hiding them. She will use them, speak through them, teach from them. They will become keys that unlock healing for others. She is rising not just for herself, but for every daughter, sister, mother, and woman who has ever questioned her worth. And she will rise with your DNA in her bones, with your fire in her soul, with your wisdom guiding her footsteps. This shift isn't small, it's historic. The decisions she makes from this moment forward are being influenced by a higher awareness. Something in her is being awakened, not taught by the world, but downloaded from the Spirit. She's stepping into a revelation of her worth, her value, her gifts, and her role. You may see subtle changes at first, an unexpected boldness, a new sense of peace, a moment of unexpected wisdom coming from her lips. Pay attention. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. She may even surprise you. She may speak a truth that sounds beyond her age or experience. That's because when the heavens activate purpose, they also unlock divine memory. Her soul is remembering what she was sent here to do. And now the layers of confusion, insecurity, and fear that once held her back are falling off one by one. This is why tomorrow is so significant. It's the breaking of an invisible chain, the ending of a silent curse, the start of a new prophetic chapter. And you, chosen one, are not just witnessing it. You're part of it. Your voice will still be needed. Your strength will still be felt. You may feel like your season is winding down, but it's actually rising with hers, because this next chapter of her life will mirror your obedience. What you planted in secret is now producing public fruit, and it will be seen. Even if she doesn't always say it, your daughter feels your spiritual presence. She hears your prayers in the back of her mind. She senses your concern, your hopes, your quiet pride. You've shown up for her in ways that others never could. And though she may not have the words, her soul knows you've been her anchor. That anchor has held her through storms no one else saw. And now the seas are calming, not because the world will stop being chaotic, but because her spirit is becoming stronger than the chaos around her. There are gifts in her that she hasn't fully discovered yet. Spiritual gifts, intellectual gifts, emotional gifts, and they're going to be drawn out in this next season. It may start with a conversation, an encounter, a dream, something that opens her eyes to what's been buried inside. Be ready to support her even if it's different from what you expected. Sometimes God leads people down unexpected paths to bring them to divine destinations. Don't fear the unfamiliar. Trust the unfolding. And as her power awakens, so will the resistance. But don't be shaken. The pressure is a sign of the promise. The turbulence confirms the takeoff. She is not fragile. She is forged, built in fire, sharpened through pain, empowered by grace. The same spirit that sustained you is now resting upon her. And what couldn't break you will now build her. The generational shift is here, and it's happening fast. Everything changes tomorrow. Not because the world will magically transform, but because her perception will. Because your agreement with the divine timeline is finally complete. Because the veil has lifted, and because the time has come for her to step out from the shadows and into her light. And as she does, you will feel your own purpose renewed. This is the divine reward of generational obedience. The child you covered will now carry the torch. Let no one minimize this moment. Let no one convince you this is just coincidence. If your spirit has been stirred reading this, it's because something eternal is being activated. God didn't just give you a daughter. He gave you a mirror, a message, a movement, and she is about to walk into rooms, opportunities, and revelations that even you never imagined. Not for vanity, not for pride, but for purpose. You were born to carry her. She was born to change things. And now that moment is here. It may come quietly or it may come in thunder, but it will come. Stay close to her in spirit. Speak life over her again and again. Remind her of who she is when the world tries to make her forget. And never forget, because of your yes, she will now live in her own yes. There are moments in life that cannot be explained, only experienced. Tomorrow will be one of those moments. You will feel it before it makes sense. There will be a stillness in your soul, a whisper that something is different. The world may keep spinning as it always does, but for you and your daughter, something will have shifted on a level that cannot be reversed. It is not the kind of change that asks for permission. It is the kind that comes from destiny finally meeting its divine schedule. That's why you're here. That's why you've been sensing something in your spirit that you couldn't quite put into words. And that's why this message is reaching you now on time with clarity. Your daughter is stepping into a frequency that very few have access to. And because of that, her life will never again look like what it used to. The alignment of her soul, the cracking open of her purpose, the resurrection of her true voice, it's all happening now. It's happening beneath the surface where faith does its best work. It's not performance. It's not about attention. It's about her becoming fully who she was called to be before the noise of the world tried to name her. She doesn't need the approval of the masses. She just needs your agreement. That's what makes you her anchor. You are not here to fix her. You're not here to control the process. You are here to see her, to recognize when her spirit has reached new heights, even if the world hasn't caught up. You've already seen glimmers, haven't you? The way her eyes shift when she's tapped into something real. The way her presence seems to change the energy of the room. The way she carries empathy without being taught. These are not personality traits. These are spiritual clues. What tomorrow marks is not a single event. It is the start of an unraveling. The unraveling of every false narrative that tried to cover who she really is. The unraveling of old patterns, painful identities, limiting beliefs. For a long time, she may have accepted roles that were never meant for her. Roles shaped by others' expectations, fear, trauma, or society's pressure. But now, the divine is giving her permission to walk away from those versions of herself. She is being reminded from the inside out that she is more than what has happened to her, more than what others thought of her, more than what she used to believe. You, chosen one, are part of this because she is made of you. And not just your blood, but your prayers, your decisions, your resilience. Every time you made the choice to keep going when you wanted to quit, you were making space for her future to breathe. Every time you chose integrity when no one was watching, every time you swallowed your pride to do what was right, you were planting seeds in her life that would blossom when the time was right. And that time is now. There is a version of your daughter that even she hasn't met yet, but she's about to. The one who knows her own power. The one who understands her worth. The one who stops waiting for validation and starts living from revelation. That version of her is bold, clear, healed, and unstoppable. And as she meets that version of herself, everything around her must shift to accommodate it. Old relationships will dissolve. Old fears will fade. Old identities will crumble. Not out of destruction, but out of divine construction. God is building her again from truth this time, not trauma. There is also a greater mission here that's starting to unfold. She will not just experience transformation for herself. She will be a beacon for others. Her voice, once overlooked, will become a compass for many. Her story, once hidden, will carry power. She was always meant to lead, not follow. She was always designed to stand out, not fit in. And you, yes, you were always meant to prepare her for this. Even when you didn't know what you were preparing her for. You may remember the times you felt inadequate, like you weren't enough, like you didn't know how to guide her, like you were failing. But the truth is, you were faithful. And faithful parents produce chosen children. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about carrying the weight of responsibility, even when your arms were tired. And it's about choosing love over fear again and again. That is what she has inherited from you. Not just your genes, but your strength. Now, as she steps forward into this divine elevation, your role is to stay spiritually tuned in. She may not be able to articulate everything she's feeling. There may be moments when she's quiet, withdrawn, or reflective. Do not panic. These are signs of spiritual expansion. Her soul is absorbing something new. Her identity is rearranging. You don't need to always have the right words. Sometimes just sitting near her in silence will say more than 1,000 conversations. She will begin to walk differently spiritually and emotionally. Her decisions will have more weight. Her dreams may become more vivid. Her hunger for meaning may intensify. And through it all, she will begin to uncover what you've always hoped for. Clarity. The kind of clarity that redefines her path and keeps her grounded no matter what storms come. And she will not be doing this alone. The same divine force that carried you is now carrying her. The same angels that protected you in your lowest moments are now being reassigned to her next season. This is more than breakthrough. It is birthing, a rebirth of her true self. And when the true self comes alive, nothing remains the same. The people around her will feel it. Some will be drawn in. Others will feel uncomfortable and leave. Let them. What is coming next for her requires a clear, divinely filtered environment. No noise, no pretense, just realness, purpose, and peace. This may be emotional for you to watch. You've waited so long. You've worried so much. And now the shift is here. Let yourself cry if you need to. Let yourself celebrate. Let yourself feel it. Because what is happening is sacred. You are not losing her. You are gaining the truest version of her. The one who no longer needs to perform, hide, or shrink. The one who can finally breathe. And as she rises, something in you will rise too. You will feel new energy in your own spirit. You will feel joy in ways you haven't in years. You will realize that this entire journey, every detour, every delay, and every tear was worth it. Because it all led to this exact moment in time where you finally get to see with your own eyes the fruit of your labor, the manifestation of your love, and the undeniable proof of your prayers. This is legacy in motion. This is heaven's response to years of unseen work. This is restoration, wholeness, victory, and it belongs to both of you. Chosen one. As this chapter unfolds, you may feel your entire perception of the past shifting. Things that once seemed random or painful are starting to make sense in a way they never did before. There's clarity emerging, like the sun breaking through fog after years of spiritual weather. The dots are connecting. The patterns are revealing themselves. What once looked like detours are being revealed as divine designs, and all of it is tied to your daughter. Her journey, her emergence, her transformation. None of it is isolated. It is intricately woven into the fabric of your own calling. This is not just about her becoming. It is about you both evolving. You may begin to recall memories, even ones that once felt like failures, with fresh eyes. The arguments, the missteps, the quiet nights when you both sat in silence trying to reach each other, those were not signs of disconnection. They were sacred tension, the stretching that had to happen between two powerful spirits born into the same story but carrying different assignments. You were never meant to understand everything at once. Some things had to mature in the dark. Some breakthroughs had to wait for the right spiritual climate. And now that climate has arrived, your daughter's spirit is blooming like a hidden garden finally exposed to the sun. She is beginning to see herself not through the lens of shame, but through the lens of purpose. And when someone sees themselves the way heaven sees them, they become unstoppable. That's why everything around her will begin to respond differently. People who once dismissed her will feel drawn to her light. Rooms that once ignored her presence will begin to shift when she walks in. Doors that remained locked for years will begin to open without force. This is spiritual momentum, and it cannot be reversed. This may stir a deep sense of awe in you. And at the same time, you may also feel a bittersweet ache, the kind that comes with watching your child evolve beyond your reach. That's natural. That's love. But don't let it deceive you. You are not losing connection. You are expanding it. You are entering a new spiritual partnership. She may not need your guidance in the same way, but she will need your wisdom more than ever. You are not her past. You are part of her foundation. And every time she steps forward, she carries your voice, your energy, and your resilience with her. She is about to make decisions that reflect who she is becoming. Some of those decisions may surprise you. Others may confirm what you've always known. Stay open. Trust the process. Remember that divine timing does not require constant explanation. Sometimes things will make sense only in hindsight. And that's okay. You're not here to micromanage her future. You're here to speak life into it, to be her mirror when she forgets her reflection, to be her reminder when the world tries to confuse her truth. There is also a divine inheritance being activated through her, a spiritual mantle. She's not just being elevated for her own sake. She's being positioned to carry a generational assignment forward. There are people waiting to hear her voice, people who will be healed through her story, people who will find direction through her presence. She will become a lighthouse for the wandering, a safe space for the misunderstood, a living answer to silent prayers. And it all flows through her connection to you. You've carried burdens for years that no one saw. You've stayed strong when you had every reason to break. You fought off doubt in the quiet of night. And now your faithfulness is being multiplied. The fruit is here. The reward is real. What you carried alone is now being carried with you. What once drained you is now being returned with joy. This is not just her moment. It is your harvest. You may not have had all the resources. You may not have had all the support, but you had the heart. And heaven honors heart. That's why your daughter will walk into rooms you never got to. She will receive opportunities that were delayed in your generation. Not because you failed, but because you broke the ground so she could plant deeper roots. You were the foundation so she could be the future. And now both of your lives are being upgraded at the same time. As she rises, watch how your own spirit becomes lighter. The exhaustion begins to lift. The pressure begins to release. Because when the weight of generational struggle is lifted, it frees more than one person. It creates a ripple effect. You may find yourself laughing more, dreaming again, even rediscovering parts of yourself that were buried beneath survival. This is the reward of legacy. Not just watching someone else succeed, but being restored in the process. There may be moments when she turns to you unexpectedly and shares something she's never said before. Receive it with grace. There may be moments when she confesses fears, reveals pain, or expresses doubt. Don't be afraid. These are invitations to deeper healing. She's not falling apart. She's unmasking. She's not regressing. She's releasing. And your presence in those moments will mean more than you know. Your daughter may even begin to ask questions she never asked before. Questions about meaning, about life, about purpose. Answer with what you know. And when you don't know, guide her with honesty. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be real. She trusts you more than she shows. Your voice has more influence than you think. And the more you anchor her with your authenticity, the more confident she will feel in her own process. There is something else to be said. You are not too late. If there are things you wish you had done differently, forgive yourself. If there are words you wish you had said, say them now. If there are regrets that haunt you, release them. Your love is still active. Your time is still valuable. Your bond is still sacred. Nothing has been wasted. Everything is being used. And now, with everything in motion, trust the momentum. Don't try to hold it all together. Let God hold you both. Let the transformation be what it's meant to be. You've done your part. You've sowed in faith. And now the harvest will touch you both in ways that words cannot fully express. It's okay to smile now. It's okay to breathe. You've made it to the threshold of something beautiful. This isn't just a better season. It's a holy one, a divine one. And it was always meant for you. There are few things as powerful as witnessing someone you love step into who they were always destined to be. And when that someone is your daughter, the feeling becomes indescribable. It's a mixture of pride and peace, reverence and release. You see, chosen one, you've been carrying more than a parental responsibility. You've been carrying spiritual weight for generations. And now in this sacred turning point, that weight is being lifted and transmuted into joy, into momentum, into revelation, into legacy. The process has not been easy. There were days when you felt like you were failing her. Days when your own storms distracted you from being fully present. Days when the enemy whispered lies trying to convince you that you weren't enough. But here's what heaven wants you to know. You showed up anyway. And that anyway, that unrelenting faithfulness despite your own wounds, is what makes you extraordinary in the spiritual realm. That is why your daughter is about to become a sign, not just to you, but to everyone who once doubted her, overlooked her, or didn't understand her. Everything that was ever said to discredit her will become the very soil that her testimony grows from. Every time someone told her she couldn't, she will rise and prove that she not only can, she will. But what's more important is that she's not doing it to prove anything to others. She's doing it to honor her own divine call. This next season in her life is not about chasing approval. It's about fulfilling prophecy. And she doesn't even need to fully understand that right now. All she needs is alignment. And alignment is already here. You'll start to see her change in ways that are not easily explained. Her energy will carry more authority. Her presence will feel different. It will be as though the world is finally catching up to the truth that's always lived inside her. And when that truth begins to shine through, it will illuminate the path not only for herself but for others connected to her. She will become a guide for those who have been lost, a safe space for those who have been rejected, and a voice for those who have been silenced. This is not by accident. This is by assignment. There's something sacred about the timing of this all. It could have happened earlier. It could have come later. But it's arriving now because both your spirit and hers are ready to receive it. You have both passed spiritual tests that no one saw. You endured the waiting, the confusion, the silence. You stayed the course, and now the reward is showing up in the form of revelation and restoration, the kind that heals backward and forward. So let this moment mark a sacred turning point, one that heaven has already acknowledged and the earth is about to witness. Let the tears you've cried in private now water the seeds of a legacy you never imagined you'd be privileged to see flourish in your lifetime. Because what is happening now isn't just about your daughter stepping into her purpose. It's about you witnessing prophecy fulfilled. It's about promises kept, covenants honored, and divine timing finally coming full circle. This is more than a transition. This is a divine exchange. You gave your strength so she could rise. You bore the weight so she could fly. You stayed when others left. You spoke life when silence was easier. You prayed when nothing made sense. And now your sacrifice is echoing in eternity. Heaven has remembered every quiet yes, every unseen battle, every sleepless night. And now, the fruit of your endurance is breaking through the soil. Don't be surprised when doors swing open that no human hand could unlock. Don't be shocked when favor finds her in rooms she never thought she'd enter. That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That's the unfolding of a heavenly blueprint written long before either of you took your first breath. And as she rises, so do you. Your story is not over. It is simply shifting. From warrior to witness. From builder to blesser. From carrier of the torch to the one who lights the way from behind, whispering, "Keep going. I see you. I'm with you." Your voice will still matter. Your wisdom will still guide. But now, it will echo in the chambers of her spirit as she walks boldly into what was always hers. There will be moments when she looks back, not because she's unsure, but because she remembers who stood behind her when she couldn't yet stand alone. In her eyes, you'll see gratitude. In her voice, you'll hear strength that sounds like your own. And in her becoming, you'll find healing for parts of you that never got the chance to bloom. So stand tall, chosen one. You did not fail. You fulfilled your calling. And now, the legacy begins, not in theory, but in living, breathing motion. The baton has passed. The light has been transferred, and the future is unfolding right before your eyes. This is what obedience looks like. This is what generational purpose feels like. And it is glorious. If this message has spoken to your spirit, and you feel led to support our mission of sharing God's word, you can do so by clicking the thanks button. No gift is too small. Your generosity, even just a penny, can bring hope and joy to someone's life. Thank you for partnering with God in this important work.